He tells me we're exclusive, but his phone still has dating apps installed, tucked into a folder like they're not part of his life anymore. Every day it shows up in small, ordinary ways. We wake up in the same bed. We split groceries. We argue about what to watch at night. When his phone buzzes after 10 p.m., it doesn't light up. Notifications are silenced once it's dark. If I glance over while he's scrolling, he angles the screen just slightly away from me, not dramatically, just enough that I can't really see. His home screen looks clean, almost empty, until I open his phone to change the music in the car, and notice a folder I don't usually touch. Inside it are the apps. The same ones he was on when we met. Same logos. Same placement. He says they're inactive. He says he hasn't opened them in months. He says everyone leaves those things on their phone and it doesn't mean anything. When I bring it up, his tone changes fast. Not yelling. Not cruel. Just firm and closed. He says deleting them feels forced, like a test he didn't sign up for. He says commitment shouldn't require proof. He says if I trust him, this shouldn't matter. Then he goes quiet, like the conversation itself is the problem, not the apps. The rest of the night feels slightly off, but we still eat together. We still laugh at the same parts of the show. Nothing looks broken from the outside. I tell myself I might be overthinking it. I tell myself apps don't equal action. I tell myself I don't actually know what inactive looks like, and maybe this is just how dating works now. Sometimes I even feel embarrassed for caring. Like I'm asking for something old-fashioned in a world where everything stays open-ended. He's good to me in other ways. He checks in. He remembers things I say. He plans trips weeks in advance. So I tell myself this is just a modern gray area I need to get comfortable with. We met at a friend's birthday thing at a bar that was too loud. We talked outside because it was easier to hear. He asked what I did for work. I asked where he lived. Normal questions. No spark story. Just two people realizing they didn't want to go back inside yet. He asked for my number at the end of the night, not my Instagram. That felt intentional at the time. Early on, what felt safe was how clearly he spoke. He said he wasn't seeing anyone else. He said he liked focusing on one person. He said games were exhausting. We made plans without checking calendars too hard. I didn't feel like I had to compete for his attention. If he was busy, he said so. If he wasn't, he showed up. It felt steady, not intense. I relaxed into that. The first shift was small. I remember asking casually if he was still on the apps. It wasn't even a serious tone. He paused longer than usual and said yes, technically, but he wasn't using them. I asked if he planned to delete them. He shrugged and said eventually, when it felt natural. The conversation drifted to something else. We never came back to it. I told myself it didn't matter because nothing had actually happened. Over time, it stopped being one conversation and became a pattern I adjusted to. In public, he calls me his girlfriend. Introduces me that way. Posts photos of us but never tags me. At home, if I bring up the apps, the mood drops. If I don't, everything stays easy. I notice that when I stay quiet, nights go smoother. When I ask questions, there's tension that lingers longer than the conversation itself. So I start editing myself. I wait for the right moment that never really comes. I learn which words make him defensive, and which ones he responds to with reassurance. I don't push. I find myself explaining it to friends before they even ask. I say it's not a big deal. I say it's just how people date now. I say he's honest with me, which is true in some ways. I also hear myself say things that don't fully line up, like, I trust him, I just wish the apps weren't there. I know that sounds small, but it's always there, sitting quietly in the background. On my phone, I don't have those apps anymore. I deleted them without thinking. I didn't announce it. I didn't need it acknowledged. That difference keeps nagging at me. I stay because the connection feels real. Because when it's good, it's easy. Because I can picture a future that looks stable if this one thing would just resolve itself. I stay because starting over feels exhausting. And because part of me believes that exclusivity is a process, not a switch. I stay because he says the right words, and I want to believe words still mean something. Leaving feels heavier than it probably looks from the outside. We signed a lease together. Our friends overlap so much that any gathering would feel divided. We have routines that would disappear overnight. I'd have to explain why I left a relationship that, on paper, looked fine. I'd have to say it was about apps on a phone, and that sounds ridiculous even to me when I say it out loud. There wasn't a big moment that changed everything. No message I saw. No confrontation. It was more like noticing how often I check his phone without meaning to. How often I rehearse what I'd say if I brought it up again. How his reassurance feels practiced, like it's meant to end the conversation, not deepen it. One night he said, "You know I'm choosing you," while his phone was face down on the table between us. That sentence stayed with me longer than it should have. Right now I'm still here. We're still together. We still make plans for next month. I haven't decided anything. I'm aware of what's happening, but I'm not acting on it. I'm holding two things at once, believing him and seeing the apps. I don't know which one I'm supposed to listen to. Can exclusivity actually exist when someone keeps their options intentionally open?